and welcome to the advanced cross tutorial on the Rubik's Cube. So you may have noticed that most or all of the speed cubers solve the cross in about 3 to 4 seconds or even lesser, and today I'm going to teach you how to do exactly that. So that is called the advanced cross. So let's get started. Now the first step in learning how to solve the how to do the advanced cross is that you should know the color scheme of the cube. So that's a pretty daunting task, but you can start off by learning opposites. So you can learn that white is always opposite yellow, red is always opposite orange, green is always opposite blue. So you should learn that by heart. So you can tell white, yellow, green, blue and red, orange. So with that done, you should keep white on the bottom because that's what most speed cubers do, so that you don't have to learn the entire color scheme of the cube. So keep white on the bottom and learn the color scheme relative to white. For example, green is here, so yellow will be on the right of green and red will be on the left of green, and blue is always opposite green. So that any face crops up and you can tell that green, blue, orange. So keeping white on the bottom, you should learn the entire color scheme, these 5 colors and their positions, relative positions. So that's the first step of the advanced cross. Let's get on to the step 2. So before proceeding on with step 2, we will give this cube a good scramble. There. So now what we did in beginner's method cross obviously, was we found an edge, we lined this up with its corresponding center. So for example, this here, we line this up with this and then bring this white down to white. Then for example, we found another white edge here, we bring this down to green and then line this green with white, and then finally this brings down here. So here is the cross completed by the beginner's method, but by the advanced method it is more quicker, and to teach that, let's give this cube another scramble. So in the advanced method, we can, now that we know the color scheme of the cube, we can solve the cross with the colors relative to their actual positions. So I'll just tell you what that means. Now we can see that this red isn't matching with the center. This is orange and this is red. So we know that orange and red are opposites because we memorized it earlier. So if we bring this down here, now if we look for another edge, okay, so here's orange. Now we know that orange and red need to be opposite each other. So we can bring this down. We bring this down right there, just like that. Now these are not solved but are correct in their relative positions, because if we do a U2, this will line with this and this will line with this, because earlier both of these were matched up with these opposites, and the relative positions of both these, that is, these are opposites, is correct. So we find another edge like this, bring it down. Now we had memorized earlier that red always needs to be on the right of blue. So for the red to be to the right of blue, this blue will come down here, right? So red should be here. So we'll move red here and we'll bring this down. So these 3 edges are correct in their relative positions. Now for the last edge here, so now we can't just bring this down just like that because this will get displaced. So we need this slot to be empty. So we move this empty slot here, we bring this down just like that, and see it lines with this, and this should be brought down here, but orange is always on the right of green, So orange moves here, green moves down, and this is completed. But it need not be always correct in its lining. It may be like this, and then finally we will just have to do a U prime to align it. Now I'll just scramble the cube again and give a walkthrough once more. So here we have red already put in for us. Now here I see the green edge, green and white edge, and I know that red always needs to be on the left of green. So green can be brought down like this, and another edge here, or yes, here. So I know that green is always opposite to blue and red is always to the right of blue by the color scheme I memorized. So I move this layer like this so that blue can come down here. Now this orange can move down like this, and this is done. So I'll just give one more walkthrough so you guys understand. So this orange is already down, and if I move this green down, these two will be correct, and just by chance we have red also. Now this blue can be put in this slot if we move this green opposite just here. So we move this green here and blue can be brought down. Now this cross is correct according to the relative positions. That is, if we just do a U2, all of this will fall into place. Now let's go for step 3. Now step 3 is an addition to the advanced cross so that you can solve the cross faster. So let's give this cube a good scramble once again. There. Now as you noticed before, this step 3 is entitled turning bad edges into good edges. Now you need to identify what good and bad edges are. So for example, this is a good edge because this can be directly brought down here. This is a bad edge because it cannot be directly brought. It has to be first turned into a good edge, then down. So can you guess what this is? This is a bad edge because it cannot be directly brought down. It has to be converted into a good edge and then brought down. This is again a good edge, and this is again a good edge. So now that you have got an idea of what good and bad edges are, we'll proceed with what I'm going to be teaching you. Okay, so now I'll just do another walkthrough to teach you. So this is red. This needs to be on the left of green. So I move this red here and move this green down. So this is a bad edge. This is also a bad edge. So what I can do is I can convert it into a good edge, just like that. And now blue needs to be on the opposite of green, so I move this green here. And now what I can do is I can move this down, but then this would mean a whole lot of additional work for us, because then we'll have to move this red opposite to this and then move this down. But there is a quicker way. So what we were left with when we had solved these two was this situation. So instead of moving this like this, we can move this like this so that this lines up with its correct edge. Then we can move this down and move this down. So you'll get that with practice. There's no other substitute. You can't rote memorize this. It's got to be practice. So once again I'll give you another walkthrough. I'm giving you so many walkthroughs because the only way I can teach you the advanced cross is by doing many walkthroughs. Okay, so this is the bad edge, this is the bad edge, this is the bad edge, oh, and this is the bad edge. Okay, so these two can be converted into good edges by a simple turn of the layer. These two are good, and as you can see, these two are also correct in their edges. And I can already see that if I move this green down, this orange will line up with the center, and that would be an additional benefit. And I can also see that this red will be left because we move this green down, it will affect this. We move this blue down and we move this down. 3 will be completed, but this will be left. But we can take on another method. We can move this red underneath the green, so that if we move the green to its correct position, this red and the orange both will be connected to their centers. Now we can also move this red underneath blue. That will mean the same thing, because if we move the blue down, it will be connected with this, right? So now if we move the red down here, we can just move the green down, move the blue down, move the orange down, move the red down, and that's completed in a very short time. So there you go. And one more thing, that you will make mistakes initially. Like, you may make a mistake that yellow and green will be interchanged, so you will end up with something like this. These two are correct, but these two are interchanged, so this will lead to additional work and hence time will be wasted. So take care to learn your color scheme correctly and do the cross carefully. So if you get this position, you can just move both of these into the top layer, move this down and move this down. Okay, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe if this video helped you. Thank you.